Welcome. I'm Diane Planadin with eXp Realty, and today I'm going to give you a brief summary about BC's speculation and vacancy tax. The tax was introduced back in 2018 and is mainly paid by foreign owners to level the playing field. However, the BC government has expanded the areas that are going to be impacted. So whether you're looking at cottage country, the Okanagan, or even on Vancouver Island, you need to know if you are going to be impacted by this tax. Sure, it's not a huge amount, but every penny counts. So let's start with the interactive map. Okay, you will notice here that it's mostly the interior of British Columbia, Kamloops region, of course, Vancouver, etc., and the island, not only Victoria, but up to Duncan, up to Nanaimo. So this speculation tax is to discourage people from leaving homes vacant, and it does target vacant or underutilized residential properties in very specific regions. But here's the interesting thing. There are new areas that it's expanding to. Check it out. Kamloops, Penticton, Salmonon, Vernon, Coldstream, Lake Country. That's the section between Kelowna and Vernon. Peachland, Summerland, Qualicum Beach, and the village of Cumberland. And you know what? You have to keep in mind this may not be the end of the expansion. A lot depends on population, a lot depends on infrastructure, but this website from the BC government, explore it. It's totally worth your while, completely worth your while. And you may be wondering what the tax rate is. Well, the BC residence is 0.5% of the property's assessed value. That also applies to Canadian citizens and permanent residents outside of BC. But the foreign owners and satellite families, it's 2% of assessed value. And that's of today's date. Moving target, like I said, keep yourself informed. Now, there is a lot of exemptions. There's a rental exemption, principal residence exemption, new construction. If you have situation like separation, death, divorce, something that has impacted your family beyond your control, there are exemptions. But keep in mind, a letter goes out. You have to fill a form out to say, I am exempt. And the reason why, I'm oversimplifying, but I'm just giving you the summary of it all. And there's deadlines on all of this. And it's all based on the previous year's tax assessment. So July just passed. You would have had your notice of assessment for a while. You can literally calculate if you owe this tax, what to anticipate for your next year's bill. And these particular ones I just listed are going to be impacted for 2025. So if you still own property in those areas, just keep that in mind. However, here's the good news. Let's go back to the map. You will notice in the cottage country that I work at, in Invermere, Fairmont, Radium, Windermere, Panorama, etc., is exempt still. This is very small population. Over here is Revelstoke, and adjacent is Golden. As we zoom in, you'll see Fernie, Kimberley, a lot of the ski areas. There's Golden now, and then coming down to Invermere. So Invermere, Windermere, not impacted. It's that green highlight on the screen. That's what's impacted. And you can play with this on the government website, and I'll share a link in the show notes as well. But so what we're seeing in Invermere area is people who maybe had a vacation property on the lake in Kelowna or Vernon, Penticton, etc. They're selling and buying in Invermere. But what about the future? Well, that's anybody's crystal ball guess. But right now, in cottage country, where I work between Calgary and the Invermere area, low population, which also means, and this is just a side note, that there still can be foreign ownership in that area. It's a little bit different. So BC, you have to pay attention. And I'm not a tax accountant. I'm not a lawyer. I am a realtor that's giving you a brief introduction here. And like I said, it's a moving target. So Here's what to expect in the future. There's speculation that the tax could expand to more regions in BC to cover growing cities experience housing shortage. Well, that's already happened, hasn't it? Kamloops, yeah. With housing prices still high, some experts predict the government may increase the tax rates for foreign owners or reduce the exceptions to further deter speculative buying. And three, increased enforcement. We can expect stricter enforcement to close loopholes, ensuring people who should be paying the tax don't slip through the cracks. So, what are you going to do? Well, you need to keep informed. You need to watch and be aware, because if you do receive a letter, if you're in a new area that's affected, if you do not complete that declaration, guess what? You're still paying the 2% tax. So it's super, super important that you inform yourself about this tax. Check if you qualify for any exemptions before worrying about the tax. Just check. Consider the long-term impact. If you're thinking of investing in property in BC, this tax isn't going away anytime soon. Stay informed about possible tax expansions or rate changes that might affect you in the future investments. And this is not bad news. This is actually good news, especially if you love living in British Columbia, but you're ready to make a move. This information is for you. And like I said, I'm going to link it in the show notes. And hey, if you like the show, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on this information. Be sure to talk to your realtor, accountant, lawyer, tax advisor to really inform yourself on how this tax may or may not impact you. Remember, don't worry about it unless you really, really have to. But that's why you need a realtor by your side, whether you're buying or selling. I'm Diane Flanagan with eXp Realty, ready to help you make a move. And remember, there's no place like home.